Hey, what's up, folks out there on YouTube and, you know, above and beyond everywhere? If you're watching us, it is Monday, December 1st. We're at 5:30 a.m. right here in, that awesome studio. Hey, guys, we're back right here in, the studio. We had an awesome weekend, awesome Saturday, and thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. It did not rain during our ceremony. We took and I prayed for it. In the morning when I was still here at the apartment getting ready, I took Ace out. Excuse me, pardon me, and I heard that it was supposed to rain all day. I'm on, no, I don't, excuse me, I don't want, the rain messing up, the awesome, beautiful, ceremony that, everybody worked so hard on. And, I prayed, my wife prayed, let's see, Mike, the minister, my brother-in-law, he prayed, and everybody in his congregation at church, they all prayed too that it would not rain during, our ceremony. And I have to report back to you guys that it did not rain during, the time that we were getting ready to exchange our vows and all that. And for, all the comments on, Facebook and the group and all that. And, that is so awesome. And, Miss Terry and myself, we both thank you. And, we thank everybody out there, and we're this week we'll be working on thank you cards and all that, and that the wedding just went off awesome. I had to thank our folks, my dad, her mom and dad, Fern and Jim, my mother-in-law and father-in-law on there. They put on a beautiful wedding out there. And my mother-in-law's house, man, guys, if you have not seen her house, I don't know, maybe she'll share some pictures of the inside or whatever, but it is decorated awesome. It is every room in the house it's decorated. I think every room has a Christmas tree, and it's so cool. Miss Terry, my wife and myself were talking about last night to telling Scott and Roller out there, my buddy from Colorado, that every room is kind of like a themed type room. And I think that the kitchen, it has a tree in it, and then she has all like family, or she has all like food ornaments on that. The tree in the family room, she has all like I think family ornaments on it. The back room, she has like all these other ornaments, and everything is just like a themed tree. So that is awesome. And then to my sister-in-law, Tracy, and brother-in-law Mike that performed the ceremony. Thank you. We love you guys, And you know, from the first time that we went over to check everything out was on Friday, and we had to put candy in little dresses and tuxedos and all that. Little like the candy giveaways to the guest and all that stuff, and put the silverware in the napkin and the little sleeve and all that stuff. We're doing that right when we got there, but when we got there, we Terry and myself were just taken back because there was a picture like earlier in the last month, that her mom took of Miss Terry and myself. We're on this bridge over in Waxahachie. Matter of fact, we're over at the park where they have C10s in the park. The show. That's awesome. And they have like a little walkway bridge over the ravine or river, and we're over by that taking pics and all that. And her mom said, "Well, get on that bridge," kind of angled, towards me. Her mom took, this awesome picture of, Miss Terry and myself, me in my black cowboy hat on that. And then she took and she had a big mural, made, and it was over, the window, like a window dressing. So you saw that right when you walked in, at the front door, and that was freaking, awesome, amazing. And everybody that showed up, that's, awesome. My buddy Scott Stout, that he did an awesome job on. It was my video guy for the wedding. I brought my two tripods. We took and I gave him my camera, my phone, and then I gave him Terry's phone, and I said, stream on my phone, and then we'll record the wedding on Terry's phone. So this week I need to do some work and all that, get back to work, but I'm gonna take the video off of Terry's phone, and then my dad got video coverage and all that too. So I'm gonna take video off his phone, and then with what's so cool is we have iPhones, right? And I have all iMac computers that I do the graphics and the audio on, like the audio podcast, editing, stuff like that. So I can take the videos and upload them to my Mac, and I have iMovie, which I like. I don't need any other video software. iMovie works fine for me, and I'm not doing some big production, all that, but I can put it into iMovie, and I can take all the clips from her phone, all the clips from Dad's phone, put it together and make cool little video and all that, and then I can put it on DVD, and then I can send it to like everybody that didn't have a chance to see it online. Me and Scott, we're in a rush for time and all that. I didn't know it was starting, right then, and we're trying to set the cameras and stuff up. And they literally pulled me away from, Scott trying to, me and him trying to set the cameras up. Hey, we need you over here. Well, all right. So I told Scott, I'm like, hey, bro, you're the camera guy. You need to figure it out. They're calling me over here. I'd help you, but they're calling me over here. He's like, no, brother, I got it. It's I moved over to where I was supposed to be right there, and then big shout out. I gotta say, big shout out to my brother, Paul, for driving on the way down from South Dakota, who I love very much, and I was a best man in his wedding in '92. And I thought, hey, I was the best man in his wedding, so he should be a best man in my wedding. So that is freaking awesome. And yeah, it was a beautiful day. It was not really hot. It was kind of breezy, nice out. And God and Jesus were awesome. It was looking like it was a kind of gloomy day kind of at first, but no rain. Excuse me. It was holding back rain. And then, little into, the day and stuff like that, the sun even came out. The sun came out for, a bit and all that. And it's almost like God gave his okay because, just a little brief, real loud thunder rolled across, the sky like it was, God giving his okay, like, hey, I got your back, it's not going to rain. And we went through the whole, ceremony, and Miss Terry looked very beautiful. My wife looked beautiful, coming down the steps. She came down the steps with one of her brothers, and then she came down to the end of the step. Her other brother took her the rest away, and then handed her off to her dad, and then her dad walked her up to the altar to where I was. And then Terry's awesome sister, Tracy, she was on the right side of me. And then on the left side of me was Paul, my best man. So Terry had Tracy as her maid of honor, and that stuff. So that was pretty cool. So we took it afterwards. Ceremony was we exchanged vows. Back and forth. Terry wanted to, do that, so we did that, and I had to write my vows. I'm not that good at writing, things. I had to, get a little help, and stuff like that. But anyway, they came out pretty good, and then afterwards, we went to, I think it's Amaya's Mexican restaurant out there in Red Oak. It's, I think, off business, I think 287 or something out there in Red Oak. I'll get the address, for you, give them kudos and, all that. And, I can even talk about them on, the podcast. That was awesome. They had some real good food down there. I know, guys, kind of picky. I had enchiladas, no beans, no rice, and I get, I know, call me stupid. I get French fries. I'm just a gringo that loves, French fries, and that's kind of my trademark, guys. Whenever I go to any Mexican restaurant, I get, enchilada and French fries. Do you have French fries? And they do, most of the time. A couple of times we've gone somewhere and they haven't had fries, but it's all good. So yeah, that was our weekend, and we're all moved in to the new apartment, and thank you Jesus. We're, man, if you think about it, in like 2 months or whatever, we moved to a new apartment, and then we got married. I mean, that is, oh man. And without, all the people helping for, the wedding, and, my mother-in-law and my father-in-law having it over there. I mean, that is, awesome. Then, at first, me and Terry were thinking about going to Las Vegas, and getting married, just, up there. And, my buddy, Scott Stout from, Snyder said, dude, you don't want to do that. He's like, after, the wedding and all that, you're going to say, you're glad that you did not go to Vegas. He's I have to agree with your mother-in-law. You never had a wedding. You never experienced a wedding. You need to, at least experience it. At least one time, just experience it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm saying to him, but after everything was all said and done, and I came up to him at, the wedding, because we cut the cake, and then we had cake and, punch and all that. And I talked to him in front of everybody, put him aside, and I said, you know what, brother? You were right. If we would have went to Vegas, we wouldn't have had all our friends and family here. And, that means so much, having, the friends and, family at your wedding, and stuff like that. And then he also said, yeah, everybody, every day they go to Vegas and they get married, the exact same way. They just go up there, pay their money, and I do, and they get married, right there the same way. But it's nobody can get married, or have this ceremony that, you have with all your friends, all your family, and all that there. And so, now I had to say he was right, about that. But this weekend was pretty awesome, and I felt like a weight has been lifted, off my shoulder. Even my wife said that, that I felt like a weight's been lifted off her shoulders. And I said, yeah, you know why? Because we're all stressed out, about the moving, getting out of there. We didn't know if we'd be able to get out of the old apartment, and didn't know if we would, get, this apartment, and we're banking on it. We're hoping, and we had like other with other apartments in on the side that excuse me, we picked I think two other apartments other than this one, that this one fell through, that we were okay with moving to. But the 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 best one, the one we really wanted, was the one we're in. And thank God and thank Jesus, I mean, because we were able to get into, the apartment that we wanted. First, the first one, we didn't really want that apartment. It just so happened it came up, available on the market when we're gonna move into something. We had to get into something kind of not really quick, but get into it soon. And so that came up, and we took that. We lived there for about little over a year and all that. And then I told her and decided, hey, it's time to move, from here. We had some other issues, over there that you probably saw me talk about on past videos. I don't even want to talk about those. If you want to see what I'm talking about, you can go back and, find those videos from, the old, apartment, stuff like that. But no, we still need to decorate and all that. And then we're having my mother and father-in-law over, and we're taking them out to dinner or lunch, because they don't like, who likes driving at nighttime? We don't like driving at nighttime. So they're gonna come over for a lunch, and then I'm gonna take and invite dad over. And then dad will come over, and we'll take him out to dinner and all that stuff. So that'd be so cool. So anyways, guys, yes, I am back in the studio. So now it's time to get cracking, Jackson, and just get back in the roll things. Today's gonna be kind of slow getting back into it, slow in the roll, but anyways, you do what you can, you get back into it. And the weekend was, tiring. We didn't get, that much sleep and on that. I'm going to bed early tonight, after today is done. But hey, guys, I wanted to get up in the morning and do a little podcast with you. By the way, guys, we're not only here on YouTube, but we're over on Spotify and Apple iTunes and all that stuff. So we have a audio podcast right over yonder. So if you guys want to go over there, and maybe you don't have time to check out the YouTube video, say you're going to work or you're driving, you can go to Spotify. We'll get it put up over on Spotify, and you can listen to it. And by the way, guys, my buddy Roller did a show last night. He had our buddy Scott Stout from Snyder call in, the show last night, and then I guess Scott was talking about, the wedding, and stuff like that. So that is, so awesome. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna take and get ready and get out of here so I can, well, for one, go get something to drink, and then, get back in here and, start doing, some work. Work. What's that? Well, that's what we have to do to, keep, the lights turned on. Anyways, guys, if you're not a member of, the group, C10 America, I think we turned 74 or 75.5 thousand members. And that's all because, you guys out there, you're talking to each and everybody. You're talking to your brother, your sister, your aunts, your uncles. You're even talking to, the crazy, Uncle Larry. You know, guys, we all have, that one crazy uncle that, we put him over at, at the kids' table, for, Christmas, New Year's. He's over there. You can make conversation with, the kiddos and all that stuff. Anyways, we all have them. I have them. Everybody. I think Miss Terry has them. All that, and everything. So I'm gonna take and probably get off here. Kind of, it's 5:57. We're almost at 6. You know what? I'll let it go until 6, and then we're good to go. And then we'll be at half an hour. We're at 27 now. So, I think, at 6 we'll be half an hour. So, hey guys, what do you think of, the studio, so far back there? I have to do some little finishing touches on it, but it looks pretty damn good, don't it? I mean, I had, the idea back there in my head for, a long time. I had that idea in my head when I lived over at, Dad's house, to do and all that. And I wanted to design that. And I first designed it over at, our first apartment and put it up. But the one wall was, kind of angled. And this wall back here is straight, across. So I think it looks better, straight across. And we finally got those posters, up back there. By the way, if you guys out there watching, you want one of those posters, we still do them and all that. The only thing is we don't print them out anymore, and they're not framed. They're what we call digital man cave posters. We design it, on the computer, all that, and then let me see here. Do I have one button? Yeah. We do them, on the computer, and they're digital, but then we put it on a thumb drive for all you guys, and I think they're $75, and plus, well, shipping is free. We send this to you for free, and then we'll give you guys a free sign up for the magazine. Excuse me. So, you know what? Hell, I'll give you guys a free sign up for the magazine, a free sticker pack when you get one of these awesome posters right back here. So you get a poster, $75. We put it on here, and we save it. We can save it in PSD format, like a big, high quality, photograph, or we take it and, well, both. We save it PSD for a big file, then we save it as a JPEG file, and by saving it as the JPEG file, it lets you guys open it on Mac or PC. And I know a lot of folks out there, they don't. We have Macs in our studio. We have one PC right back here that has all my old interviews on, and we do some pardon me, the nose. We do some bill paying. Oh, sorry, that mic's kind of close when I do that. Anyways, do some bill paying back here on the computer, on the PC, but as far as the designing and the audio and all that, we do on the Macs, right here. I don't know. I personally, I like the Macs. Why? Well, because the color content. What is it? The color contrast. That's it. I was trying to say that. The color contrast, and I don't know what it is. It is almost like on the Mac. To me, maybe not to everybody else, but to me, everything is more more bluer, more redder, more yellower, with the greens, the blues, the reds, RGB, and on the PC, they're kind of dialed back a little. I mean, but that's only from default. You can fix that. I do stuff on the PC that I have software on the PC like Photoshop. I don't have that no more on the Mac, because they want you to pay a subscription. I have this other new software. It's cool, and if there's something I can't do on the Mac per se, I'll take and save it on a thumb drive, and then save it as, if I'm working on a PSD file, and I just save it on a thumb drive, and I try and open it, on the computer, it'll open because I have Photoshop. Now, if I don't have Photoshop and I have it saved as a PSD, you cannot open it. You need Photoshop to open it, to access the file. But if I save that file as a JPEG, I don't even need Photoshop to open it, because JPEG is pretty much universal. And if you save something as a JPEG, I can open it on my Mac here, or my PC right back there. So that's kind of cool about JPEG. But I tell you one thing, a JPEG, it compacts the file down. So if it's a big high-res file, it compacts it down. So it's kind of easier to email, kind of share maybe on your phone, whatever. So I like, if I can, I like working a lot, sometimes in maybe a P PNG file, or that's with the transparent background. It's a little higher up on resolution, or a PSD file is pretty good. And the software I use, I can save my documents as a PSD file, so I can save them as PSD, and then if another computer has Photoshop, then I can open it on that. So I know you guys are probably wondering, probably asking, what's this new software? Well, new software is Affinity, and I use the old Affinity photo, Affinity publisher. They have Affinity designer, and it was Canva just came out and bought Affinity, so they took and they redid the software. It's one software now, and they took and they put the photo in it. They put the design in it, and the layout, software. So it's all three softwares into one software. So that is pretty awesome, and that's really what I wanted. All this time is I want to Photoshop to come out with a one kind of software that had all three things in it, and they didn't do it, but Affinity did. Is pretty cool. And then back like a month ago, you saw me stressing out big time. Pardon me, the nose. I thought that maybe I had a bad piece of software. It kept on messing up on me, and I thought it was that. I didn't know what it could be, and the last thing me and Roller were talking about, well, maybe it's the keyboard. So then I started playing around with, the keyboard. Excuse me, and found out it was a keyboard. Then I looked, online, and they said you should change your keyboard every one to 3 years, 1 to 2 years, something like that. Well, my keyboards were they were like about 10 years old, and that's why they kind of got beat up. I guess there's a little plastic thing or something underneath the key, that when it's pushed down, that's what sends the signal to the computer. Hey, you press a B key, type a B. You press a blue key, press blue. Type blue, and all that's. I think there's they said there's like a little plastic membrane under there or something, and it gets old, maybe corroded after certain time. And they said the keyboard, if you hardly ever use the keyboard is probably gonna be all right. But if you're on that keyboard constant, every day, well, I've been on that keyboard every day because I do graphics on the computer, doing layout, doing this, doing that, and Yes, I can see the keyboard going. Well, I had three Macs in here, and I had to replace all the keyboards because I'm on those, you know, as well. So I'm like back and forth, back and forth. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna take you and get out of here. It is 10. You don't want to hear me keep on rambling on, but I wanted to tell you guys, what about the wedding, big kiddos and all that to everybody that helped and all that stuff. So that is so cool. And then by the way, guys, don't forget we do hour long live over in the group on C10 America over on Facebook, and we just we'll be talking a little about the the wedding over the weekend, and then I'll be doing a reveal of two metal prints, 11 by 14. So if you guys out there want to get one, contact us. They make great Christmas gifts. They take about 2 weeks to get. Today is December 1st. So if you guys are thinking about getting Christmas metal prints done for the hubby out there, you can email me directly at Texas Rich, all spelled out. That's Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. That is Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. Go ahead and feel free to email me. Let me know if you guys want a 11 by 14, 16 by 20, 20 by 30, 11 by 14. They're $99. They're 16 by 20. They're normally $195, but for members are $185. Until Christmas, I will drop it down to $185. So $185 until Christmas on the 16 by 20, and then on 20 by 30. Normally it is $250, and then members in the group pay $225. I will honor that for everybody until Christmas this year, 2025, and then after that it goes right back up to $250. But don't worry if you're members in the group. You guys always pay $225 no matter what. So we love all you guys, and we hope the group continues to grow. We're on mark to hit 100,000 next year, sometime next year, and maybe middle of the year, or maybe even sooner. Help us out, guys, because I'm thinking about having a little get together, after we hit 100,000. Let me talk to my sponsors and all that. And by the way, guys, if you're out there and you want to become a sponsor of C10 America, we can put you on the featured sponsor on the lives. That way you have over 75,000 people available to view your ad in the group and all that. And then if you want to get on the podcast, you know, that would be, awesome too. Or if you want to get on the podcast and you want us to, talk to you, about, your shop, whatever, we can do that as well. So, anyways, we're going to get off here, go get something to drink, and then get back in here and get right back at it. And if you can, tune in later on today at 9 o'clock over in, the group. That would be C10 America over on Facebook. We love you guys. We thank each and everybody that came out to the wedding. Big thank you to Dwayne Phipps and Leanne Phipps for, coming to, the wedding. I love you guys. Thank you. And like I said early on, this week, me and the wife are, gonna be doing thank you cards to, everybody that, came and all that. And we love all you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you at 9 o'clock. So stay tuned, and we'll see you at 9. We love you, YouTube, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.